everybody, welcome to another episode of Dishcraft. I'm really excited about this episode because this is one of my favorite things to make. I've made it for many friends on multiple occasions. Usually it's just a beer burger, but then I decided to elevate it the last time I hung out with my friends, and now this is what I call my Hangover Burger. And we're actually going to use two different types of alcohol. We're going to put beer in the burger. I like to use Dale's Pale Ale. And then we're going to put some champagne. Well, this is technically not champagne, but we're going to put some sparkling wine in the mushrooms and onions. So that's why I call it my Hangover Burger, a little hair of the dog right in your food. So here we go. We're going to start by, and this is a deconstructed burger. So we're going to start by making croutons. I have cut up about this is less than a half a loaf of French bread. If you don't have leftover French bread, that's okay. You could go to the store and find the day-old rack and buy some day-old. A lot of times Justin and I eat French bread, and so I put the French bread in the freezer and save it until I'm going to do something like this with it. I love homemade croutons. I had a roommate in college, her name was Mandy, who showed me the beauty of homemade croutons. So olive oil, you just want to coat them enough that you don't want them to be oily, it'll take forever to bake. Also, I've heated my oven to 450 because we're going to put these in there in just a second. This is my favorite stuff to put on your croutons. You can put whatever you want. I have onion powder, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, and paprika in there. So we're going to hit that with this. I'm going to mix it up in here first. And then I'm going to hit this on here. Perfect. And then salt. And I like to use the nice, like, big, chunky salt in this on my croutons. And don't be shy. And our black pepper. Same thing, I like to use the black pepper. Later on when we make our burger, I'm going to use white pepper. And then once you got all of that in there, you just give it a good stir. Okay, see, just with my hands like that. Make sure you get kind of all the croutons coated. Stirring too fast. And make sure you try to get all the seasoning on the bread. Don't let it stick to the walls of your bowl. And then I just have a pan that I've already put some foil on. I'm going to put my croutons on here. Make sure they're spread out. You don't want them to be touching because what will happen is they won't get crispy. Now, I told you the oven was at 450. The other thing is the bake time for these depends on how crunchy you want your croutons to be, okay? I kind of like mine to be really crunchy on the outside and kind of soft on the inside. Some people want to be really crunchy. So I'm going to bake mine probably for about 20 minutes at 450. These go in the oven. I'm going to wash my hands, and then we're going to move on to the burger. Now, we talk all the time about when to use cold beer, when to use hot beer. This is a cold beer time, okay? And I'm going to do something kind of crazy here. I've had a couple people I've talked to. They've said to me, I've tried to make beer and burgers before, but I can't get the beer to soak in. What do you do? I have a secret for that. I am using 80-20. We want a nice high fat content in a burger. We're going to pop that in there. I'm going to turn the heat up on both of my pans. And then, I don't really put a ton of extra seasoning in these. This is garlic powder and onion powder. And this is about a half cup of breadcrumbs. And this is 1 pound of ground beef. This will make 4 burgers. And I'm going to put that in for now. I'm going to hit it with my salt. And I'm going to use the kosher salt for this. I'm going to hit it with my white pepper. And then I'm going to dump in my beer. And I typically use about a half a can. You know, you kind of have to play with it a little, okay? And you don't want to over mix this, guys, because what happens is the burgers will get kind of tough. Oh yeah, I think this is probably good. Now, like I said, the trick is to put in the breadcrumbs with this beer, okay? Because if you do that, what happens is the breadcrumbs soak up the beer and they get in between. Now, remember, don't over mix. I think I need more salt. A little bit more salt in there. And I'm going to do a little bit more pepper. I'm going to give it one more mix. And then our pan should be just about hot enough. Now let me teach you the trick to making really good portion burgers. Oh guys, this smells so amazing. All right, so I'm going to kind of flatten this out just a little bit in here, okay? And I'm going to go this way. See how I did that? I'm going to go this way. Now I have 4 portion burgers. Do you guys see that? So now I'm going to take one. I'm only going to do 1 burger today for the purpose of the show, because later on tonight this will be my dinner with my husband and I. So we're going to set this one aside. Great thing is that can go right back in the fridge. All right, so I'm going to take my burger. I should have put a plate down here. I'm going to grab one out real quick. We'll just use a paper one. He doesn't need to be fancy. All right, so we're gonna, remember, you don't want to overmix this. What'll happen is your burger will get dense and dry. I'm gonna pat him down a little bit, okay? On each side. I'm gonna wash my hands and then we're gonna do the next step. Now, if you want, you can make the center a little bit thinner than the outsides, so the center cooks a little bit more. Depends on how much you like your burger done. Okay, wash my hands, do the next step. So the next step is salt and pepper on top, right? I'm gonna get a little salt. So the trick with brown beef a lot, or red meat a lot, is salt. People don't realize that. They kind of hold back on it. I'm going to do regular pepper. I'm going to flip this guy over and do the other side. See that? Liberally salt it. Pepper it at 2. Nice amount of salt. Now, if I had a cast iron pan, I would definitely use a cast iron pan for this. I don't, so I'm going to use my grill pan. Wash my hands actually I'm going to put the burger on first and then I'll wash my hands. I'm going to move this oil around. Oh, and you can tell the pan's nice and hot. That's what I want. So I want you guys to see me put this guy down, and then we're going to switch the pans. Now, second thing, never press down on your burger. And not only don't press down on your burger, but don't touch it too much. I'm going to let him hang out. I'm not going to touch him that much, okay? So we're going to get ready to do that next step. Let's switch the pans, because the next step is, you guys, if you could smell everything in here, I've got the croutons going, that burger going, everything smells so amazing. I'm just going to peek at my croutons, see if I like them. They look pretty good. Okay, next step. This is half a stick of butter in this pan. It's a little hotter than I want it to be, so I'm going to turn it down. I just need one of my fancy spatula tools here. We're going to let that get all melted down. And then we're going to do the mushrooms and onions. This is half of a sweet onion. I did a Vidalia. And then this is like half a container of mushrooms. You could use a full onion. You know, all of this is relative to how much you're cooking, right? I'm only going to be doing 1 burger for right now. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put the onions in there. Make sure they're kind of spread out. And then we're going to put the mushrooms in there. And we're going to mix this up, and we're going to let this start to cook down. Okay? And our favorite, remember, season every layer. Salt. And remember, if you think it's probably too much, it probably isn't. That's what everybody has to get used to. Okay? People, that's the biggest mistake. If you watch Chop, they're always like, there's not enough salt. Make sure you put enough salt, okay? Now, you could also, if you wanted, put garlic powder in at this stage. Or not garlic powder, I'm sorry, fresh garlic. It just depends on what flavors you want today. Pepper. Y'all, I've got to get like a real pepper mill. Don't be shy with those seasonings. And I did get the butter just a little warmer than I wanted because it browned a little, but that's okay. All right, so watch this trick. I'm going to take and show you how you get those pretty little grill marks. We're going to take our burger and turn it like a quarter. If you turn it a quarter weight on the pan, when I flip that over, it's going to have fancy grill marks, okay? All right, and I use white mushrooms. I also like to use portobello mushrooms. It just depends on your taste, what you prefer. Now, once this is done, which will be here soon, there's a little secret coming in. We're going to use an egg. And you guys are going to be so surprised how beautifully this dish comes together. Then check on those croutons again. Oh. Well, some of them are a little darker than I intended, but that happens. That's okay. There's still some good croutons in here. Just in case you were wondering, not the first time I've done that either. Our onions are getting there. We're going to go ahead and flip our burger. Ah. Okay, so while we're waiting for the mushrooms and onions to finish, I have my plate here that I'm going to start to build my burger stuff on. You're going to do a bed of, I got microgreens. You could use sprouts, you could use spinach, whatever your heart desires. Okay, so that's going to go right here in the center. And then I have some fresh cut tomatoes. We're just going to kind of dot those guys around. These are just little cherry tomatoes. And then I have goat cheese. We're going to put this on in a second. This is just perfect. Right now is when I'm going to hit this with the champagne. And we're going to let all of that reduce down. Probably take about 2 more minutes. Thank you for bearing with me on this. I like my burgers to be like medium. So that one there, I'm going to give it its quarter turn twist. It's probably got like 2 more minutes, and then we're going to let them sit and get warm. Or I'm sorry, we're going to let them rest. Because just like with steak or most meats, you don't want to cut into them right away because all the juice will fall out. You want to let them rest for a minute, and then you can cut into them. And we're going to throw some croutons on this plate. Find some of the less burnt ones. Good news is I didn't use my whole loaf of bread, so when I go to make this later for everybody, I'll make sure I don't overdo it. I'm not going to lie to you guys, homemade croutons, literally my favorite thing. Oh, and those croutons are just perfect too. Alright, all we're waiting for now, besides our burger to rest, is for this champagne, which I did like, again, that's about half the bottle I used. We're just waiting for that to cook down. All of this smells so fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and use another paper plate. We're going to take that burger off. I can tell by the way he looks that he's done. You could certainly use a meat thermometer. Burgers do not need to cook to 165. You could do them to 145 and they'll be fine. There's our finished burger. So we're going to set him over here. All we're going to do... Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean off this guy. Because I'm going to need him in a second. And he's got all this burger yumminess on here. But that's not going to do so well with my egg, okay? And these are almost done as well. Okay, so that's done. This is just about there. Oh, these smell fantastic, guys. We're gonna go ahead and dump that in there. Now, what we're not gonna do is clean our pan or anything. I'm gonna let that yumminess in there, and we're gonna crack an egg in there. Okay. You could also poach your egg if you wanted at this step. You don't have to do it doesn't have to be a fried egg. I just like a fried egg. This is also why it's a hangover burger. Always get a nice amount of salt on your yolk. Do some fresh cracked black pepper. And then I'm going to take some of these mushrooms and onions. And they're going to go right here in the center. Okay. There we go. Goat cheese is next. And I didn't want to put it on before because I want the heat of the burger and the heat from the mushrooms and onions to melt it some, okay? Also, goat cheese should be warm, okay? Don't use goat cheese cold. It doesn't crumble and it doesn't break down as easily. Goat cheese is a cheese you eat warm. This egg is ready for me to flip. I'm going to flip the egg. And then this burger goes right on top of all of that. There we go. It's only going to take, once you flip the egg over, it's only going to take like another 20 seconds, right? Here we go. Whoop. And there it is. Hangover burger with a nice big fried egg on top. Always hit that with just a little bit of salt right as it comes off. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Thank you all for bearing with me through another episode of Dishcraft. I will post this video, or I will post the recipe on my blog, which is on Facebook for right now. It's facebook.com/Dishcraft. You can also follow me on Instagram at Dishcraft. Thank you all so much.